Welcome back to Jules Creates. I'm here today to go over a quick video for you on how to use all of your iPhone settings. That's better. How to use your iPhone, how to tweak those settings inside your camera to make sure that you can get all the best photos without all the expensive equipment. But I can teach you those tricks inside that camera and you'll be surprised at what you can do. First things first, we open up that camera on your phone. Inside your phone's camera, there are specific settings that will help you make a darker room a little bit brighter, also help you focus on someone's face to get what we call the lighting right. So without getting too deep in here, we'll open up that camera. So once it's open, you'll be able to see something through your camera. So when you tap on the screen, you'll see that it then picks a focal point, that little for this iPhone, for the XR, the little yellow box. Every phone though should have a specific little box that it shows when you tap different parts of the screen. So this is primarily a white surface I'm looking at. So if I click on the darker part, it will then get brighter. If I click on the white part, it'll get darker. So if I have something else to look at here, you can kind of see how it will change your lighting based on what you click on. So that's the first way. If you're clicking on someone, myself, I'm very pale. So if you have a group of people here and you click on someone with the palest face, it is going to adjust the lighting in the entire image to that person's skin tone. So that's always the first recommendation, is tap on the person with the fairest skin if you're shooting a group of people. If you're shooting something that's necessarily more abstract and not necessarily a person, like an object, you can still tap that object, but it may be a darker object, so it may not automatically do the lighting how you want. So from here, if you click and tap, hold down, you'll see that it says AF lock. So that is our lighting and our autofocus lock. So it's now not going to autofocus. As I move that around, it's not going to autofocus and change my lighting at all. It's going to keep it exactly where I've set it. So here as well, if you tap anywhere on the screen and just move your finger up, you can see that it's now brightened that photo. And if you tap it and move it down, it has made it much darker, and you can darken it up as much as you want. You can brighten it up as much as you want. So a lot of times in the dark room, people will think, well, I better turn on the flash. And I wouldn't necessarily suggest doing that. In fact, I would probably suggest to never use the flash on your camera phone. If you're going to need to use the flash, use this trick instead, and that will be the first way to get more light into your photo. Okay, let's be honest, this next one should really have been the first piece of info. But we always have to clean our lens. Each lens on your camera phone, if it's the front facing or the regular facing, always clean it. We grab our phones, we throw them in our bags, we set them down. And our fingerprints, every time we touch those, is gonna get oils on that lens, and it's gonna look dingy. It's gonna look like you're underwater. So always use something. You can use a little piece of cloth, your shirt, a lens cleaning cloth, tiny circles. Tiny circles will clean that lens right up. If you just do one streak, you'll see it still looks a little streaky. So you got to do tiny circles to clean both of those lenses. You can use your shirt, you can use a lens cleaning cloth. A professional will have a lens cleaning cloth for their, professional grade camera. You can use your shirt, but just make sure and do tiny circles. 5 to 6 tiny circles will clear that right up. But if you don't, that underwater look I'm talking about is kind of when your photos have a little bit of a haze to them. And anyone that wears glasses and has an astigmatism, when you drive at night and you see anything light with a glare, and there'll be a little, like a streak over a light. That is what an astigmatism looks like, and that's what it'll look when there's streaks all over and fingerprints all over that lens. So when you clean that lens, you clear out that astigmatism, that weird little glare, you clear out all the fog and all that stuff that makes it look like you're underwater and in that foggy room. So they'll look crystal clear again once you make that happen. So after you do that, we move right along to our settings in camera. So if you have an iPhone, which is what I have, so I'll be going over that today, we have 4 different settings up top. We have the little lightning bolt. That is our flash. So if you tap it, you have 3 options: auto, on, and off. I always keep mine in the off position. There really is never a time where I feel like I have to use that flash. Even if I'm by myself, you know, I really don't need to use that flash. I can always find some sort of available light. When you are not by yourself, you can have someone else turn on their camera flashlight, shine it on you, and then you can use your camera to then take a selfie or something along those lines, so you're not using that flash. If you do use your camera's flash, you will be bright, and everything else around you might be black or dark. Whereas if you use natural light, that light behind you is gonna stay normal, and then you light yourself with a flashlight, and then use another phone to take the picture, all the light will look natural. So I always highly suggest that, as opposed to using an on-camera, forward-facing flash. Next, we have our live photo option. So if you like to make GIFs, I don't know what kind of a human you are, I say GIFs. But if you like to make those, that live photo can use that really well to do so. If you don't like that or have no purpose for that, go ahead and turn that live photo off. The live photos are gonna take up twice as much space in your phone's camera, so unless you're using those for a specific purpose, go ahead and just turn it off. Next, we have our timer. So 3 options here: off, 3 seconds, and 10 seconds. If you're taking a self-timed photo, this is very beneficial. You can use it with both the front and the forward facing. So that's definitely an option for you, which I will have a video on that later for you on how to really take care and use that timer. But today, just keep it in that off position. Sorry, my cats are crazy running around. And then lastly, we have our different settings for profiles. We have original, vivid, vivid warm, vivid cool, dramatic, dramatic cool, dramatic warm. Just keep it on original. Any editing we want to do, we can do in Lightroom later, and I will have a video on that for you as well. But for now, just keep it in original. That way you're using the original, the raw, when you do your editing to make them consistent for your online brand. So keep that on original and you'll be good to go, team. If you liked this video, I definitely have more coming at you, and I have a free course called Amplify Your Gram. You can check it out in the description box below, and that is a free course. It's going to give you all of the info I just gave you, including way more stuff that I go over on how to take better photos for your online business, because you are an online business babe, and all you need is those good photos to have an amazing grid on your Instagram to attract more people. So check that out, and then you can check out my other videos as well. See you guys soon.